Okay, this article is dated Saturday, July 21st, 2012. This is exclusive. James Holmes held in solitary for fear for his life, or in fear for his life. Remorseless mass murderer James Holmes was locked up alone on Saturday over fears that the self-proclaimed Joker would become a target for other inmates. The man accused in the Colorado movie theater massacre is still behaving erratically at the jail about 2 hours after 12 people were killed and 58 wounded. Holmes, who had dyed his hair red, was also wearing red clothing beneath the black armor. That black body armor that terrified moviegoers saw when he opened fire on Friday night. Okay, so he's wearing all red clothing, all red clothing and red dyed hair beneath his black body armor, yes. But if you look up what the description of his body armor was, it is pretty full, but it is not like full legs. So if he's dressed head to toe in red, and his shirt would be showing still, and his hair would be showing, you would think that in the descriptions, the witness descriptions, at least one person might say he had black with red underneath, red hair, or red anything. Because at least on the bottom part, all he had was those knee pads. So, I don't know. I'd like to see if it was a completely red outfit or not. Because that's odd. And I actually saw another report, which I can't find at this point. It's probably disappeared, but he actually painted his body and his face red, which would be very odd because in his mugshot, he's not got the red face paint on that had been originally reported as what he came in with, which means that he would have taken a shower first, which also his hair in his mugshot, the supposed first one, looks as if he has taken a shower. It's not wild or crazy, or it didn't look like you have a hat and you have just killed, right? And he also is already in his, little orange suit. And that does not happen until after you get your mugshot. You come in, you get booked, you get your fingerprints and your mugshot taken, and then you go to process into the jail, and that's when they give you the offer. So it's very strange. And people have also noticed that the stubble on his hair, on his face, was exactly the same as the day of court, but that would have been 2 days difference in length, where it should have been. So was he not photographed when he brought in? Was it not him that they brought in? Was it him maybe drugged because his towel over his face, right? All of these questions and no real substantial answers because nobody ever asked the questions. Nobody in our media, and if they had, nobody would answer it anyway. So, but they know those questions. Those are obvious questions. Okay, so I go on. Jail guards, this is the part that gets me, blacked out his windows with duct tape so no one could see him, said Tim. He was cuffed in the back and had leg shackles. 6 officers were walking. The deranged suspected killer, a former honor student and PhD candidate, said nothing and walked slowly to his cell. Now, is that a little contradicted? The deranged, out of control, spitting at guards, right? But he said nothing, walked slowly to his cell with a towel over his head and 6 guards surrounding him. It's hard to get a very good view of a person with 6 guards. So, was he deranged or was he walking slowly, calmly, and quietly? Which is it? And was he spitting at people or did he have a towel over his head? Because you can't do both. It's hard to spit at someone with a towel over his head. Anyway, Gallup said that if Holmes was released into the jail population, he wouldn't live to see Monday's court date. And they just keep going on with their macho, murder thing. Which, I mean, honestly, probably with people in there for petty crimes, and I really doubt that they're plotting murder to take down. Who knows? Not that you really care one way or the other. The description and the processing of him, and it's just very suspicious that it's very contradictory. Because why black out the jail cell window? And it's like he was quiet, didn't say a word until he gets into that jail cell. They duct tape the window, and all of a sudden he starts yelling that he's the bat, or that he's the Joker, and all of this crazy. That's when all the crazy irrational screaming, yelling supposedly happened. After they duct taped out the window, and nobody really saw who it was coming in the first place with the towel person. So easily they could have. I mean, there's all kinds of things. Use your imagination, because all I know is I don't know, and all I know is I'm pretty sure that the story that I'm reading right here has a lot of flaws, and it's probably pretty much made up because it's contradictory. It's not less bad for not having those simple questions answered. So when a story doesn't make sense and it's not thorough, then you know that it's contrived and propaganda. I mean, and they have him tried and convicted already by the first word is remorseless mass murderer. Really? Aren't we innocent until proven guilty? I don't recall anyone catching him shooting someone. I believe he was caught in his car without really weapons on him, right? And they might have, I don't know, they couldn't decide if they were on him or in the car or even where they were. We all know that the gas mask was nowhere near him, the second gas mask was. So, was he a patsy? Was he MK Ultra? Was he just some, who knows? Or maybe he was the great mastermind of it all, who just, for no reason, did this all the time. And, yeah. It's all very strange, but I just wanted to get this video out because it's something that I have come across days after and I lost it and found it. But it's important because it shows that from day one, you've been connected. I mean, and anyone who doesn't see that is blind. By choice. It goes on in the end of this to go on one of my favorite things, because they're all this Joker, and it's so out of an actual Batman cartoon, almost like you see the NYPD commish. So it says, according to NYPD Commissioner Raymond Kelly, the masked killer declared he was the Joker, enemy of Batman. I am the Joker, the enemy of Batman. That's what he supposedly said after the massacre. I don't know who said that to. The commissioner himself, like did he call him? I don't know. So, yeah, and it's just an interesting fact that I don't know what it means, but maybe nothing means something. I had looked up Chief Oates, our wonderful guy in charge here, and he has an interesting background, and he belongs to an organization called PERF. It is a police something research foundation, and it is not a government or anything. It's actually an international kind of consortium of police chiefs, and they get together, and it's actually funded by some industry stuff. People go to the PERF website. I think it's please. Oh, just Google it. PERF. I'm sorry. I'll put the link down below. It's just got some interesting things there about policy. It's kind of a think tank. They gather data. Their data has been on several occasions published and then shown to be false, to get an agenda. And these people are, some of those papers, I mean, some seem very harmless and very well intentioned and actually good, pieces of information to go up, to change. Because what it is a thing to look at police policy and then look at where they want to change it and how they are going to implement these controversial changes. And it's funded by some interesting people, like Motorola, who, and a lot of their things are surveillance-based and using technology kind of for almost entrapment purposes, or spying and all of those things, or just to, do their job for them, like wonderful cameras that you can actually. Now they don't even have to he just took it. But anyway, you know, I think they should at least have to right take it out if they're gonna screw your whole day, right? Yeah, it's an interesting little group of people, and so he belongs to that, which is interesting because they also have been linked to some of the more controversial and illegal tactics used in the Occupy Wall Street movement. One of which was when they corralled all those people on the bridge and had a mass arrest of innocent people, and it was they didn't even give people a chance to get out. People were trapped in there. They had nothing to do with it, and everyone just it was a blanket arrest. Everybody has fines. It's just that's outright. It's just outright wrong. This is wrong, and they shouldn't be able to do those kind of things. And it goes on to one of their papers that I thought was interesting because it said mass arrests like that can be used to recoup the cost of a demonstration's fees to the person. So they actually encourage you to do mass arrests so that you can then get that revenue, and that will pay back for whatever exorbitant costs, extra fees you have to take. I mean, the extra costs are these turtle suits and sound weapons and non-lethal weapons, which are actually, it's so crazy to me that in the Geneva Convention they outlaw the use of things like flashbangs and tear gas. They're outlawed. In war, you cannot use them. It's a war crime. But then we use them against our own civilians without any provocation. And, it used to be you have to match the use of force with the equal amount of force and nothing more than what is necessary to put your life back into your own hands and out of danger. Coming at crowds that are non-violent, even if they're verbally assaulting you, and shooting rubber bullets, those sound cannons, which can permanently damage your ears. All kinds of things. It's torture. It's sick, and I commend those people because they're our last hope. I'm so fed up with it. And it's a systemized thing, systematic decline, and it begins with this curve. And other organizations, I'm sure, and this guy also, he worked for the commissioner as a private kind of, or in charge of the guard for the president and vice president for years, and then he was moved right into New York City right before the 9/11 attacks, and was somehow put in charge of that responding to police officers to the 9/11 attacks. From there, he had the unfortunate or fortunate opportunity to go to New Jersey, where he was there just in time to take care of the response to the New Jersey Muslim mosque bombings, and then moved from there to Aurora, which he had been, I think, about 6 months, maybe a year before this shooting occurred. So I'm not seeing it. Either this guy has really extraordinary timing that coincides with these events, or he's being moved around for a reason, either to coordinate or to cover up some falsified